Hello, this is Mish from Downtime Distractions with the first look review of Space Pirates and Zombies 2, or as a lot of people call it by its acronym, SPAZ 2. So with our first look reviews, please check the description below for specific detail on the difference between our full review versus our first look review. So SPAZ 2 is a space shooter with a bounty of RPG components thrown in. It has a top-down view and also an isometric view. So it's all about survival, salvage, ship construction, factions and trading. So explore a living galaxy that has 200 other captains inhabiting it. They can do everything that you can do as well. So they can claim territory, they can join factions, they can pillage, they can fight. So you need to protect your territory and create the perfect ship on the fly using parts that you've salvaged from enemy wrecks or from trading. Alternatively, you can join forces with them, but beware. The zombie infection is coming. This has been developed and published by MinMax Games Limited. Previous titles from these developers, funny enough, Space Pirates and Zombies, the original. So that received a very positive response from the Steam community. So SPAZ 2 has been in development by a two-person team for almost 4 years. It was completely self-funded by the proceeds from SPAZ 1. So this is coming to Steam on Early Access on the 18th of May at a price of $19.99 US, and that has a 10% discount at launch for a week. So this currently has single player with full controller support, but being Early Access, multiplayer is on the horizon. So what are the reasons the devs are bringing this into Early Access? The developers have mentioned on the Steam page, the community was so vital for SPAZ 1, they feel it's just as vital for SPAZ 2. They also mentioned they don't have the monopoly on good ideas, but they have had a great experience upgrading SPAZ 1 with the help and support of the community, and they want that to continue with SPAZ 2. So it's estimated to be between 6 and 12 months in the early access stage, and the price may increase when it leaves early access. So be advised, get on early if you're keen, because it could go up. So before I take a look at the story, gameplay options and summary, I just want to cover off a particular type of viewer. So the viewers, the gamers who purchased SPAZ 1 and you loved it. So you're already well versed in what the original SPAZ was about. So let me just give you the main changes and upgrades that they've included so you can easily decide if SPAZ 2 is all you want it to be. So the devs have mentioned SPAZ 2, they decided to go all out and not just make a direct sequel. So pretty much everything has changed, but it still has the original SPAZ feel to the game. This to me looks like the logical step in the evolution in this genre of game. SPAZ, the original, was a top-down space strategy. This has isometric whilst in battle, and also still maintains the option to go top-down view whilst in those battles. When you're in the star map, it's only top-down view though. The quality of the graphics has been greatly improved. The user interface has been reworked, it feels very intuitive. The initial grind some people mentioned as a problem from the original SPAZ game, for me doesn't exist in SPAZ 2. Things that alleviate that feeling of a grind are just the array of different options straight away. So looting, trading, fighting bandits, fighting captains, fighting the arena, joining bigger battles. The campaign has some of the same characters from the original, and it's the same story continued as well. So by the look of it, it's exactly what the devs have said. It's not a direct sequel, it's an evolution and an improvement on the original SPAZ game. So if you like the original game, you can already see the improvements in the footage playing in the screen. Hopefully this game has changed how you wanted it to be changed, and hopefully it's grabbed your attention. So now hopefully we've helped out our elite pilots who played SPAZ 1. So let's look at this new game, SPAZ 2, on its own merits. And also for the SPAZ rookies and the novices who know nothing about these titles. Or if you're one of the elite SPAZ pilots who stuck around for more information, I hope this protracts on more information for you. So the story, the driver behind SPAZ 2. So humans found a new element called res. And as we do, humans pillage it for all it's worth, for our greed and technological advancement. But of course it caused wars and factions. But the more humans looked into the res, they found that it came from a sinister source, and it was actually all a trap, causing the biological outbreak, or the zombie outbreak. So humanity came together to destroy the outbreak, and they eventually won. But the question is, has it really been destroyed? And now the universe has piracy and skirmishes, battle, rule, everything. So it's all fighting for the dwindling amount of res, and maybe a new outbreak. So with the gameplay and the mechanics, so we can explore, we can fight, we can trade, we can work with factions, you can make your own factions, you can make your own bases, a real prodigious amount of stuff. As a captain, you have a leveling system, so you've got perks which you can choose, so things like more health, more armor, more firepower, better recharging. You can also upgrade your ship with junk, salvaged items, or traded items is very customizable. You can also purchase strikecraft, which can assist you, so little kind of fighters that run around you can also jump into them and control them in the middle of a combat. So whilst you're working on all these aspects with all the factions and everything going on, there's the ever impending zombie viruses coming, so you've got to be ready for that. I've already sunk in 5 hours into this title so far, and I'm really enjoying it. But I don't think I've even really scratched the surface, especially for the combat. Currently, I feel the combat is a little simplistic, but it's good because it's easing you into it, because I can see the different weapons are really going to add a lot of variety to the combat in the future. So the different types of game modes. Currently we have the campaign, this is what I'm playing through at the moment. So following a little bit of a story, it's really necessary because it does have a tutorial kind of built in there, which is helping you along. After that we have Sandbox Mode. So that's for the advanced players, and that's what I'm looking forward to as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the options menu, followed by a quick look at the UI, a little bit of a look at the combat as well. And let's look at the options. So the gameplay options in here. Very nice to see a split there of third person and top down mouse sensitivity. It's good that there's a separate slider for each of those. A few other nice little things here as well. Show damage in numbers, show distance in numbers. So very nice to have these options turned off. I turned that one on as I'm interested to see the numbers that actually come up from the damage I do. Weapon config. Now, before I was mentioning how I'm finding this game going forward, it's getting more and more in depth for the combat. This is another point here. At the moment, I'm just using kind of an automatic shoot everything when it's available, but you can get to the point where you have specific, numbers, hotkeys for specific weapons, and you can configure all this as well. So this, to me, shows the in-depth combat that you're going to get to in the future. So, very impressive in here. And sound, a real prodigious amount of options, a fantastic amount of options in sound. Really impressed with this. So you got main sound effects, you got music, ambience, chatter, speech, engine sounds, and interface. Really appreciate all these different options. That's really good, because sometimes you just get one slider for everything, and some people don't want to hear the chatter, some people don't want to hear the interface. Really good. I think this is a really good standard to set for all games. It's very impressive. Controller reference. As I mentioned before, this does have controller support, and here you go. So these are all the buttons that you can have. So very nice to see that all mapped out here. They're not rebindable. They are, I believe, that is what you get. Input. So this is mouse and keyboard. This is what I'm using, as I find this the better way to play games like this. All rebindable, which is very nice. So for me, that kind of controller is a nice to have if you want to use that. But for me, the keyboard and mouse is better for a title like this. Graphics. Once again, awesome amount of stuff in here. A lot of options to turn on and off. Textures, depth of field, shadows, map detail, bloom, VSync, anti-aliasing. Very nice. Could do a bit more options around, I guess more options in here. But for me, it's a good amount in here. If you're thinking what happened to the full screen or windowed, and also the resolution, that's all in here. So, a good amount of stuff. Really fantastic set of options. I think this should be the standard for all games, really. Anything below this is unacceptable. So, this is a fantastic job. Good job on that, developers. Okay, so this is the main star map. Now, what we have here. I'm only just going to briefly touch on this stuff. This isn't a tutorial, this is just my thoughts. If you guys want me to do a tutorial, let me know, and I could put one out for you to help out. But for now, just a quick overview. So what we have, this is the main star map. So this is how you get around. You can either use the keyboard, or you can click to move to where you want to move. So as you can see, as soon as you stop moving, everything else stops moving. So you don't feel rushed. whilst there is the impending issues of factions and war, and also the virus coming, you don't feel rushed within your movements. Like it's comfortable to leave this like this, check out your ship, do stuff like that. So up here we have your different resources. So you have your cores, how many cores you have available. That's how many locations you can plug in more items into your ship. Your kind of currency that you purchase items with, so that's your salvage. Your goons, so that's how many people you have on your ship. You need, I guess 160 is the amount. You can go over, but they just eat more res, because res is not only a fuel, it's also a food. So the more goons you have, the more res you use. And this is the all-important res, so that's the fuel for your vehicle. And down the bottom here we have, so assemble ship. Very cool. I really like this options in here. It's a fantastic way to do it. So you hold down control and you unmount your items, and you hold control and you can move them around. It's really, really nice. It's very unique. I don't think I've ever seen a game with this, like, this kind of customization in this way. It's normally very static and 2D or very stale, but this feels really cool. So you have a lot of different things in here, so you can see all the different options you can go through. So you get I guess the nose of the ship, the engine, these are all the cores, these are all your weapons. So very customizable, very cool. They all have different things as well. I mean, some of them, the head can have the shield information, shield buffs, and weapons. The same for everything. They're all a lot of variation in this. So let's go back to the main screen. Let's go back to the star map. What else do we have here? So your inventory. If you need to repair, you can get your goons to do it, but they all get rid of some goons by doing that. You can even control the speed that you go around the map. The faster you go, the more res you burn. This is the strike craft, which is also very cool. So you can purchase more of these. You can, I believe they upgrade as time goes on. You can actually, I have a reserve of 6 of them, and I can have 3 active at any time. So very nice, a real good addition, and you can swap between them in combat as well. So you can use them and tell your main ship to go and do something whilst you fight as these guys. And what else do we have? So faction information, very important. Lore, which is very well presented, and a lot of information, information back to the original Spaz game, and something which you unlock as you go on. So it's very nice. So just, I guess, they're not videos, it's just a couple of pictures, a little bit of an animation, but just good information, moving the story along, nice to have. That's pretty much it for the main user interface here. So on the screen you can see you have sections which are controlled by certain factions. So yellow is one faction, green is one faction, blue is one, obviously, so on and so forth. The white are not currently claimed. So these are the star bases. And so you can go up to them and trade. This is another ship there. I don't think he's going to attack me, but let's go up to this starbase and see what we can do. Okay, so if we want, we can fight them. Not really a good idea. The arena is very interesting. So that really got me through the initial stages. You can jump into the arena and hire a ship, so you don't lose your ship, and you can fight. So, really get advanced ships straight away. Very nice idea. Good if you're kind of struggling to start with and you don't want to ruin your ship. You can jump into here. So trade, and you can repair the ship, and repair the ship. Visit the junkyard if you don't have any money, you need some parts, and you can even add bounties and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff going on here. Let's just quickly jump into some combat. So here we are in some combat. So I've joined another person who is fighting someone else. It's always a safe way to do it. So this guy here was level 42, I believe, and that guy's level 20. So probably a pretty easy win here for us. He's actually probably trying to get to the warp gate. So in the background there, you can see that spiral is the warp gate. So I can set my ship to automatically fire. So bottom left hand corner, you can see there you have your shield and you also have your health. Bottom right, you have your torpedoes and also your boost. So you can put a bit of a boost on there. Zoom in and get some rounds down at this guy. Fire some missiles at him because he's trying to escape through that warp gate. I don't think he's going to make it. You can see as well the different information on top. So you have your shield information, the health, and stuff like that. You can actually press F and swap between your strike fighters and your main ship. So you can actually control the strike fighters, and you can give commands to your other ships. So say I want everyone to come to me. So if I hold down E, they'll all come to me now. Or I can say everyone go over there. There we go, over there, or go and attack something over there. So attack that asteroid. So very cool ability, very easy to use, very intuitive, very nice. Okay, so regards to weapons. So at the moment, as I mentioned, it's all very generic. So bottom left hand corner, you have the 5 different, I guess, options. At the moment, I've got selected automatic. So my ship will automatically fire when the weapon is available, and it will reload as well, because you have a main cell that you eject and reload. You can actually change it so you're in complete control of all the weapons at the same time, so fire when ready. And also you can manually eject the core, there it goes, and then it'll reload. Now, as I mentioned, I think this is going to get quite complex as it goes forward. So you can choose to say, fire this bank of weapons, fire this type of weapons, fire this type of weapons. And that to me is where the interesting combat is going to come from. I'm not at that stage yet, so I'm just leaving it on pretty much automatic for the most part. And you can still control, you can still kind of force fire it, but it'll pick up when you're not doing something, which is quite nice. So yeah, that's really the main combat component and how to use the weapons. Okay, so let's jump into a bit of a summary of graphics, audio, and gameplay. So graphically, very vibrant and unique. The ships all stand out, and why not? Most space games similar to this have a really dull, kind of mundane, apocalyptic ship style, but this has flown way in the other direction. So this has flown off the handle, off the bench, and it's fallen into the neon paint. And why not? It looks good. I like it. So the star map design is a very nice design as well, very intuitive. The combat looks really good. Textures, models all feel and look AAA quality, so all very good graphically. And let's move on to audio. So as we know, this is early access, and they advise in the game and on the Steam page that they will be upgrading the voices to real voice acting. At the moment, it's synth voices. For me, I really can't wait till they add proper voice acting. Some people might like the synth voices. I like to see them keep the synth voices as an option, so maybe flick on the synth voices if you don't like the voice acting. But for me, to really deliver the kind of comedic lines, because it's a very well written story. The characters are very, very good, very interesting, but I find that a lot is lost in the delivery of the voice with the synth. But obviously this is coming, so it's going to be improved as we go on. So the sound of the ships and the weapons is all really good. Explosions are nice. The random chatter that happens as well when you're kind of fighting a bandit or fighting someone, that can be comical. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you had that kind of voice acting level across the characters, that would be very cool. So let's move on to gameplay and mechanics. So the gameplay and mechanics of this game. So the star map is very good. As I said, it feels very intuitive and in no way ponderous. I also enjoy the fact that I never felt daunted by any interface across this title. The combat is also very good, easy to pick up, but I think you'll find it very hard to master. So we have a copious amount of gameplay content that's already available, and this title really feels like it's at the top of the genre. It's in a real position of ascendancy. It has a very well delivered script, interesting ideas, interesting story, and interesting characters. A very well-rounded title, and for me the $20 price tag is worth it. If you're a fan of the previous title, Spaz, or if you're just a fan of the top-down shooters. For me, it's a no-brainer. So suggestions, as this is in early access. So more voice acting, which I've already mentioned. I can't wait to see what they do with the multiplayer, but I'd like to see that introduced in the future. And I'm just amazed that this title's even come out to early access, as I feel it's already in a finished product state. So I hope this has been a valuable video for you guys. I hope you got some information from it. So as I said, this has been Space Pirates and Zombies 2. Subscribe for more videos from us to get some updates. Thumb up if you liked it, thumb down if you didn't. Any constructive feedback is always appreciated, positive or negative, and share it as well would help us out. And I'll see you next time.